All right, it's 5:33. We have given like 3 minutes for others to join. Now let's get started. Thank you for joining. I appreciate it. Today, the story that I'm going to read, the title of the story is Jack and the Beanstalk. Do you see it? That's the title. Okay. There was once upon a time a poor widow who had an only son named Jack and a cow named Milky White. And all they had to live on was the milk the cow gave every morning, which they carried to the market and sold. But one morning, Milky White gave no milk, and they didn't know what to do. What shall we do? What shall we do? Said the widow, wringing her hands. Cheer up, mother. I'll go and get work somewhere, said Jack. We have tried that before, and nobody would take you, said his mother. We must sell Milky White and with the money start a shop or something. Do you think it's a good idea? That mother is saying that, well, Jack, we have tried the job before, but then you never got it. And do you think it's a good idea to sell the only cow they had, Milky White?
Milky White.
Yes, no,
No.
no. I've I would have asked Jack to try one more time, but let's see. Let's see what happens in the story. All right, mother, said Jack. It's market day today, and I'll soon sell Milky White, and then we'll see what we can do. So he took the cow's halter in his hand, and off he started. He hadn't gone far when he met a funny looking old man who said to him, Good morning, Jack. Good morning to you, said Jack, and wondered how he knew his name. Well, Jack, where are you off to? Said the man. I'm going to market to sell our cow. Do you see this picture?
Yeah.
So this is Jack in this dress. This is a funny old man, and that's what they're talking. So the funny old man, what did the funny old man said to Jack?
The funny old man said to
Good
Jack.
morning.
Good morning.
And Jack was surprised. How does the old man know his name? He had never met the old man before.
Mhm.
And then what did the old man ask him? The old man asked, hang on, give me a second. Sorry. Um, Hi, Nitya. Could you please turn on your video so that I can see you? Okay, I'll continue with the story, but I'll appreciate if you can turn on your video. All right, the old man asked Jack, "Where are you going?" And who can tell me what was Jack's reply to the old man? Where was Jack going that morning? He was going to sell his cow. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to market to sell our cow. You look the proper sort of chap to sell cows, said the man. And do you know how many beans make five? Two in each hand and one in your mouth, says Jack as sharp as a needle. Right you are, says the man, and here they are, the very beans themselves. He went on, pulling out of his pocket a number of strange looking beans. As you are so sharp, says he, I don't mind doing a swap with you, your cow, for these beans. Now, what did the old man do? You see the old man? So,
Yeah.
old man called him with his name and then asked him where is he going, and he responded that he's going to sell his cow. And the old man said that I'm going to give you 5 beans and I'll buy the cow from you. Will
Mm-hmm.
you trade the cow with me 5 beans and give me your cow?
Mm-hmm.
That's what the old man said. Now, what do you think? Should Jack take his offer or should Jack say, well, 5 beans is too less and I'm going to move ahead?
Mm. Move ahead.
Okay, let's see what Jack does. Go along, says Jack. He does the same thing. He says, go along. I'm not interested in your offer. Ah, you don't know what these beans are, the old man said. If you plant them overnight, by morning they grow right up to the sky. Really? Said Jack. You don't say so. Yes, that is so. And if it does not turn out to be true, you can have your cow back. The old man says that I'm going to give you the 5 beans. They are magical. Do you think any of the plants can become extremely tall in just one night? You just put the seeds in the ground, and next day the whole fruit is there. The tree is up, the vines are up, and they're full of fruit. Is this possible?
No.
Well, not in real life, no. But if it's something magical, it might be, right? So the old
Yeah.
man says that these are magical beans, and he assures him. He says, "Well, if what I'm saying is not true, then you can have your cow back." So
Mm-hmm.
that's a pretty good assurance, right? Then it says, "Okay, right," says Jack. Yes, this is so. And if it doesn't turn out to be true, you can have your cow back. Right, says Jack, and hands him Milky White's halter and pockets the beans. Back goes Jack home, and as he hadn't gone very far, it wasn't dusk by the time he got to his door. Back already, Jack? Said his mother. I see you haven't got Milky White, so you have sold her. How much did you get for her? You will never guess, mother, says Jack. No, you don't say. Good boy. 5, 10, 15. No, it can't be 20. I told you you couldn't guess. What do you say to these beans? They are magical. Plant them overnight, and what? Says Jack Mother. Have you been such a fool, such a dolt, such an idiot as to give away my Milky White, the best milker in the parish, and prime beef to boot, for a set of peltry beans? Take that, take that, take that. And as for your precious beans, here they go out of the window. And now off with you to bed. Not a sip shall you drink, and not a bit shall you swallow this very night. Now his mother got really mad at him because his mother also thought that it's just 5 beans and you just sold my best of the cow just for 5 beans. How would I know it's magical or not? Like somebody took advantage because you're foolish. And she got so mad that she didn't give him anything to drink. She didn't give him anything to eat that night. And she says, just go. She threw the beans out of the window and asked Jack to go upstairs to sleep in his bed. So Jack went upstairs to his little room in the attic, and sad and sorry he was, to be sure, as much for his mother's sake as for the loss of his supper. At last, he dropped off to sleep. When he woke up, the room looked so funny. The sun was shining into part of it, and yet all of the rest was quite dark and shady. Can you guess what would have happened overnight? Any guesses? His room is all dark and shady. It's morning time, no sunlight. So, what happened? Something happened. So, Jack jumped up and dressed himself and went to the window. And what do you think he saw? He looked out of the window from his room and is upstairs. What do you think? Any guesses? What did he see? Why, the beans his mother had thrown out of the window into the garden had sprung up into a big beanstalk that went up and up and up till it reached the sky. So the man spoke the truth after all. So the man the, who gave him Jack the magical beans, he wasn't lying. Those beans were actually magical. So they grew up into a beanstalk. The whole vine was huge, all up to the sky in just one night. The beanstalk grew up quite close past Jack's window. Let me see if there's a picture because there is no image. Okay, this image. It's on the next page, but it can explain. This is a beanstalk. So the beans grow on the vine like this. So her Jack's mother threw these in the garden, right? Just outside the window. They just didn't even plant properly. They just threw the seeds. And next day, what happens? We have this vine up and up and up and up and all the way up to the sky. The beanstalk grew so tall in just one night. The beanstalk grew up quite close past Jack's window, so all he had to do was to open it and jump onto the beanstalk, which ran up just like a big ladder. So Jack climbed, and he 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 climbed, till at last he reached the sky. And when he got there, he found a long, broad road going as straight as a dart. What did he find? He climbed up the whole beanstalk all the way up. And what does he see? He finds a road, a long road. So he walked along and he walked along and he walked along till he came to a great big tall house. So he kept on walking on that magical road, and the road ended, and there was a beautiful big house. And on the doorstep, there was a great big tall woman. Good morning, ma'am, says Jack quite politely. Could you be so kind as to give me some breakfast? For he hadn't had anything to eat, the night before and was as hungry as anyone could be. It's breakfast you want, is it? Says the great big tall woman. It's breakfast you'll be if you don't move off from here. My man is an ogre, and there's nothing he likes better than boys broiled on toast. You'd better be moving on, or he'll soon be coming. It's breakfast you want, is it? Said the great big tall woman. So the person responded, Oh, please, ma'am, do give me something to eat, ma'am. I have had nothing to eat since yesterday morning. Really and truly, ma'am, says Jack, I may as well be broiled as die of hunger. Well, the ogre's wife was not half so bad after all. So she took Jack into the kitchen and gave him a hunk of bread and cheese and a pitcher of milk. But Jack hadn't finished half of this when thump, 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 the whole house began to tremble with the noise of someone coming. Wait, so this is the picture. Look, You see, Jack, he's traveling. There's a big house. There's a woman standing, and that's the one Jack asked breakfast. Hmm. Goodness gracious me, it's my old man, said the ogre's wife. What on earth shall I do? Come along quick and jump in here. And she bundled Jack into the oven just as the ogre came in. He was a big one, to be sure. At his belt, he had three calves strung up by the heels, and he unhooked them and threw them down on the table and said, Here, wife, broil me a couple of these for breakfast. Ah, what's this I smell? Fee, fee, foo, fum, I smell the blood of an Englishman. Be he alive or be he dead, I'll have his bones to grind my bread. Nonsense, dear, said his wife. You're dreaming. Or perhaps you smell the scraps of that little boy you liked so much for yesterday's dinner. Here you go and have a wash and clean up. And by the time you come back, your breakfast will be ready for you. So off the ogre went, and Jack was just going to jump out of the oven and run away when the woman told him not. Wait till he's asleep, says she. He always has a dose after breakfast. So now, because Jack is hiding in the oven, when he's when the ogre went to clean up, he wanted to get off the oven and just run away from that house. But the lady told Jack, no, 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 wait. Let the ogre have his breakfast. After that, he's gonna just doze off. He's gonna sleep after having so much of food. That's the time when you come out of the oven and leave the house. Well, the ogre had his breakfast, and after that, he goes to a big chest and takes out of it a couple of bags of gold. And down he sits and counts till at last his head began to nod and he began to snore till the whole house shook again. Then Jack crept out on tiptoe from his oven, and as he was passing the ogre, he took one of the bags of gold under his arm and off he pelters till he came to the beanstalk, and then he threw down the bag of gold, which of course fell into his mother's garden, and then he climbed down till at last he got home and told his mother and showed her the gold, and said, Well, mother, wasn't I right about the beans? They are really magical, you see. So do you understand? So when the ogre ate a big breakfast, um, and he started counting his gold coins, and probably had so many that while counting, he dozed off. And when Jack came out from the oven and was tiptoeing, not making any sound, didn't want to wake up the ogre again, and was tiptoeing out of the house, he saw that the bag full of gold beans, and he takes one, he kind of picks it and throws it, which kind of ends up in his mother's garden, and then just stepped down the whole beanstalk and tell the mother all of the story and showed her the gold. So they lived on the bag of gold for some time, but at last they came to an end, and Jack made up his mind. So he started spending the money, right? And when it ended, he thought, okay, let's do it one more time. Let's go up. So he wanted to test his luck one more time at the top of the beanstalk. So one fine morning he rose up early and got onto the beanstalk, and he climbed 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 till at last he came out onto the road, same road again, and up to the great big tall house he had been to before. There, sure enough, was the great big tall woman standing on the doorstep. Good morning, ma'am, says Jack, as bold as brass. Could you be so good as to give me something to eat? Go away, my boy, said the big tall woman. or else my man will eat you up for breakfast. But aren't you the youngster who came here once before? Do you know that very day my man missed one of his bags of gold? That's strange, ma'am, said Jack. I dare say I could tell you something about that, but I'm so hungry I can't speak till I have had something to eat. Now the lady didn't recognize him. She's just asking, are you the same boy? Because when you came last time, a little boy came last time, the same day, my man lost a big bag of gold. And then he says, well, I'm not sure about what happened to your gold, but I'm just so hungry that I need food. That's strange, ma'am, but I'm so hungry I can't speak till I have had something to eat. Well, the big tall woman was so curious that she took him in and gave him something to eat. But he had scarcely begun munching it as slowly as he could when thump, 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 they heard the giant's footstep, and his wife hid Jack away in the oven. All happened as it did before. In came the ogre as he did before, said fee, fee, fo, fum, and had his breakfast of 3 broiled oxen. Then he said, wife, bring me the hen that lays the golden eggs. So she brought it, and the ogre said, lay, and it laid an egg all of gold. And then the ogre began to nod his head and to snore till the house shook. Then Jack crept. Okay, I'm going to show you the person. And here, this is the lady. This is the ogre. This is the egg who used to lay golden egg. This is the hen, sorry, who used to lay golden eggs. Did you see it?
Yes.
Okay. So when he started sleeping and snoring, Jack crept out of the oven on tiptoe and caught hold of the golden hen and was off before you could say, Jack Robinson. But this time the hen gave a cackle which woke the ogre. And just as Jack got out of the house, he heard him calling, wife, wife, what have you done with my golden hen? And the wife said, why, my dear? But that was all Jack heard, for he rushed off to the beanstalk and climbed down as fast as he could. And when he got home, he showed his mother the hen and said, lay to it. And it laid a golden egg every time he said lay. So now again, Jack did the same thing. Instead of stealing the gold this time, he just stole the hen. And then when he says lay to the hen lays a gold egg. That's pretty being pretty rich, right? You can have gold egg whenever you want if you have a magical hen. Well, Jack was not content, and it wasn't very long before he determined to have another try at his luck up there at the top of the beanstalk. Now that's human nature, right? You're getting something for free. You got it first time. You went back again. You got lucky next time. That makes you more greedy. Now he got really greedy. He's like, well, I got the gold, which was gone. I got the hen, who gives me golden egg every day, but I want more. I'm gonna see what else I can find going up at the big house. He got really greedy. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. So one fine morning he rose up early and got onto the beanstalk, and he climbed and climbed and climbed and climbed till he got to the top. But this time he knew better than to go straight to the ogre's house. And when he got near it, he waited behind a bush till he saw the ogre's wife come out with a pail to get some water. And then he crept into the house and got into the cooking pot. He hadn't been there long when he heard thump, thump, thump as before, and in came the ogre and his wife. So this time, because he knew that the woman won't allow him to go inside the house because he has kind of betrayed her twice, cheated twice. So this time, he just sneaked in. He saw that when the woman came out with a bucket of water, he just crept inside. And then he saw that the ogre came back for breakfast. Fee, fee, foo, fum. I smell the blood of an Englishman, cried out the ogre. I smell him, wife, I smell him. Do you, my dearie? Says the ogre wife. Then if it is that little rogue that stole your gold, and the hen that laid the golden egg, he is sure to have got into the oven. And they both rushed to the oven. But Jack wasn't there, luckily, and the ogre's wife said, There you are again with your fee fee foo fum. Why, of course, it's the boy you caught last night that I've just broiled for your breakfast. How forgetful I am, and how careless you are not to know the difference between live and dead after all these years. So the ogre sat down to the breakfast and ate it. But every now and then he would mutter, Well, I could have sworn. And he would get up and search the pantry and the cupboards and everything. Only luckily he didn't think of the cooking pot. After breakfast was over, the ogre called out, Wife, wife, bring me my golden harp. So she brought it and put it on the table before him. Then he said, Sing. And the golden harp sang most beautifully. And it went on singing till the ogre fell asleep and began to snore like thunder. So, what did they get this time? They get a golden harp, and it was kind of like magical and you can say automatic that it started singing. So, ogre said, Sing, and the hang on, let me see how long. Well, only a little bit left, so I'll just take 5 more minutes and we'll finish the story. And the harp sang the most beautiful song. Then Jack lifted up the pot lid very quietly and got down like a mouse and crept on hands and knees till he came to the table. When up he crawled, caught hold of the golden harp, and dashed with it toward the door. But the harp called out quite loud, Master, Master! And the ogre woke up just in time to see Jack running off with his harp. Jack ran as fast as he could, and the ogre came rushing after and would soon have caught him, only Jack had a start and dodged him a bit and knew where he was going. When he got to the beanstalk, the ogre was no more than 20 yards away. When suddenly he saw Jack disappear, and when he came to the end of the road, he saw Jack underneath, climbing down for dear life. Well, the ogre didn't like trusting himself to such a ladder, and he stood and waited. So Jack got another start. But just when the harp cried out, Master, Master, and the ogre swung himself down onto the beanstalk, which shook with his weight, down climbs Jack, and after him climbed the ogre. By this time, Jack had climbed down and climbed down and climbed down till he was very nearly home. So he called out, Mother, mother, bring me an axe, bring me an axe. And his mother came rushing out with the axe in her hand. But when she came to the beanstalk, she stood stock, still with fright, for there she saw the ogre with his legs just through the clouds. But Jack jumped down and got hold of the axe and gave a chop at the beanstalk, which cut it in half. The ogre felt the beanstalk shake and quiver, so he stopped to see what was the matter. Then Jack gave another chop with the axe, and the beanstalk was cut in two and began to topple over. The ogre fell down and broke his crown, and the beanstalk came toppling after. Then Jack showed his mother his golden harp, and what with showing that and selling the golden eggs, Jack and his mother became very rich and he married a great princess, and they lived happy ever after. The end. That's the story. Did you like it?
Yes.
Okay. Do you have any question?
No.
Okay. Well, I'm sorry I took 3 more minutes. Well, we initially gave 3 minutes for other folks to join. So, well, I appreciate Elva you joining. I appreciate your time. Thank you.
Bye,
Bye
Prisha.
bye. Take care. Have a
See
good
you
weekend.
Friday. Have a nice weekend.
You too. Bye, Nitya.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you.